A lot of people were saying that SHEDEUR was going to fall. And I'm not surprised. We had so many guys that say how much they love SHEDEUR, this and that, and SHEDEUR is great, and he's going to be a great NFL player. The problem with SHEDEUR, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it over and over again, the guy talks too much. If he just kept his mouth shut and went out there and just threw on his pro day, and when he went to the combine, just spoke to the press about, his confidence level, but not at a level saying that, he's comparing himself to some of the better young quarterbacks in the league. That's the problem with SHEDEUR. When you open your mouth, you throw yourself under the bus, and you make GMs and coaches and owners not really like you. And I think he's hurt himself. And he might fall out of the first round. The crazy thing, nobody would have thought that this was going to happen. Deion Sanders has been speaking high praise of him all year, giving him all the credit in the world. This guy's this and that guy's that. And saying that his son is not only a first-round talent, he's the best player in his class. He's the best player in the draft. And now you're seeing Deion Sanders, who this guy was a bona fide top 3 pick in his class, and everybody thought that this guy was a must take when he was drafted from Florida State. Now his son falls to the second round. I mean, does this put, his son into understanding why you don't speak, why you don't go out there and speak to the press and do the things that you do off the field? Because that has been his problem. And I'll say this again, Joba, you know this as a professional athlete. You take a step back when you're playing with when you're playing with superstar players. You played for the Yankees. You played with Derek Jeter. You played with Alex Rodriguez. You played with all these superstars, guys. Everywhere they've gone, they were superstars. You don't go out there, even though you might think that you're the best pitcher on their roster or the best relief pitcher on their roster, and say, hey, you know what? I'm better than this guy. I'm better than that guy. I'm the best. Because when you do that, it makes yourself look bad, right or wrong. You know what bothers me about SHEDEUR? And again, not the fact that I don't think he can't play in the NFL. He probably could. And he might be successful. He might turn out to be an absolute slam dunk. But when you go out there and you open your mouth as much as you do, and you say things that you shouldn't be saying, when you go to a locker room, when you eventually are drafted, no matter how much leadership you have and how much your father brags about you and what type of player you were in college, you're just another one of those guys in the locker room when you go to the NFL. Because all those guys were just like you when you came out of high school and when you played, college football, D1 football, if not better than you, and played in better programs than you. So you're just like them. And you can't go out there and say, well, you know what? I'm a Sanders. I'm better than you are. And I grew up with, a silver spoon in my mouth. That's the problem with SHEDEUR is his logic. And even his son. I mean, even his brother. His logic of who he is and the last name that they hold. This is why we've seen this before. You go back in basketball right now. LeBron James' son, Bronny James Jr. Bronny James Jr. in high school, everybody was saying that this guy was the top prospect in high school, going from high school into college. He played, one season at USC, and he barely played. And thank God he's alive, but he had practically a heart attack, and his heart stopped on a basketball court. Everybody thought at one point when he was going into college that this guy was a bona fide first-round talent. And then when he stepped on a college basketball court, what was he averaging? 3-4 points a game? That's not going to cut it. And then he only got drafted by the Lakers in the second round because it's who his father was. And by the way, Bronny James got the biggest contract in the second round in NBA history. Why do you think the Lakers gave him a contract like that? Because it's the LJA, LeBron James Association. That's the truth. So the problem is with these kids is, your father's a superstar. Your father was the face of many different organizations in the NFL and was the best, considered the greatest corner in NFL history. And because of that, you think because you're the quarterback, you played for his team, and you think that you're that talented and you can compete with all these talented quarterbacks we've seen in the last couple of years come out of the draft. You think that you can go out there, not have a combine, have a pro day. And by the way, did anybody watch his pro day? Did anybody check out his pro day? It wasn't the best pro day, guys. There were a lot of people that said he didn't throw the ball very well, and he didn't get the ball in the places he should have. So I think obviously SHEDEUR Sanders should learn from this. wherever he goes, if he goes into the second round, he should learn to keep his mouth shut. I've been saying it for years. Everybody said I'm nuts. I said he's not a first-round talent, and now he could fall out of the first round. And I would love to see somebody, and coach, who was bitching and moaning when he came on this show because I was falsely saying things that he said.